4th July 2021, Madhuban, Avyakt BapDada, Om Shanti, revised 30 January 1988. The Murli's title is The Second Step of Courage is Tolerance, the life story of Brahma Baba. Today, the Almighty Authority Father is seeing his first elevated creation. The first creation is of Brahmins, and Brahma is said to be the first number of the first creation. Because of being the first number of the first creation, Brahma is called Adi Dev. There is also a memorial of this name, Adi Dev, on Abu Mountain. He is called Adidev, that is the first creation, and as well as that, Adidev also means that he is the first number deity at the start of the new world. It is Brahma who becomes the first deity in the form of Sri Krishna. This is why he is called the first deity at the start of the new world. At the confluence age too, he is the first number of the first creation. That is, whether you call him Adidev or Brahma, he is the creator of Brahmin souls. So, he is the first one at the confluence age and also at the start of the world, and so he is called Adidev. It is Brahma who becomes the first Karmatit angel. Brahma becomes an angel, and that angel becomes a deity. He is number one in everything. How did he become number one? In this way, with what method did he attain number one success? All of you Brahmin souls have to follow Brahma. What do you have to follow him in? You have already been told about his first step of surrender. He demonstrated this too in his first step by surrendering in every way. The second step is tolerance. When he surrendered himself, of course, he received the most elevated inheritance from the Father. But what did he receive from the people of the world, who were showered with the most insults? Even though you souls were insulted or assaulted, it was Brahma who continued to receive the most anger. In his Lokik life, he had never heard a bad word. But when he became Brahma, he became number one in having to hear bad words. He had led a life where he received the most love from everyone, but to the extent that he was loved by everyone in this Lokik life, everyone becomes his enemy in his Alaukik life. When some children were assaulted, that was automatically also an assault on the father indirectly. However, with the virtue of tolerance or with the inculcation of tolerance, he remained smiling. He never wilted. To smile when someone praises you is not being tolerant. However, to remain smiling at a time when someone becomes an angry enemy and rains insults on you, and you do not show the slightest sign of wilting on your face or even in your thoughts, that is said to be having tolerance. To see, speak, and start a connection with merciful feelings with an enemy soul is called having tolerance. And the task of establishment and of doing service, there were sometimes small and sometimes big storms. As a memorial in the scriptures, they have portrayed Mahavir Hanuman carrying such a big mountain on the palms of his hand, just like a ball. In the same way, no matter if the problem, obstacle, or storm seems like a big mountain, a mountain means to make a big thing into a small toy and overcome it as you would in a game. Or he made anything big became something very light. He remained light himself, and he also made others light. This is called tolerance. He didn't make a small stone into a mountain, but made a mountain into a ball. He put the expansion into its essence. Thus is tolerance. To expand obstacles and problems in your mind or to speak about them to others means to make mountains. However, he did not go into expansion, but with the full stop of nothing new, he put a full stop and moved forward. This is called putting expansion into its essence. An elevated, tolerant soul is always able to put expansion, problems, and obstacles into their essence with knowledge and yoga, just as Brahma Baba did. When you go on a long route, it flicks up all your time and energy. That is, a lot more of both are used. In the same way, expansion is the long route and the essence is achieved by taking a shortcut. Both are able to go across, but because those who take a shortcut are able to save their time and energy, they don't become disheartened. They constantly enjoy themselves and overcome everything with a smile. This is called tolerance. Someone with the power of tolerance would never be afraid or think, does this also happen? Because of being constantly full, he will go into the depths of knowledge and remembrance. Someone who is afraid is never able to go into the depths. One with essence remains constantly full. This is why there is depth in something full. One with expansion is empty. This is why something empty always rattles. So, someone with expansion would constantly continue to rattle on with thoughts such as, why this? What is this? It shouldn't be like this, but like this. It should not be like this. He would continue to rattle on in this way in his thoughts and in his words too. He would still constantly rattle on in front of everyone. What happens when you rattle on endlessly? You rattle on. You become breathless and you tire yourself out. Those who are tolerant are saved from all of those things, and this is why they always enjoy themselves. They don't rattle on, they fly. The second step of tolerance, Brahma Baba demonstrated this by taking this step. He always remained unshakable and immovable. He always enjoyed himself in an easy way and didn't have to labor. The children who did 14 years of tapasya experienced this. Did you feel it was 14 long years, or did you feel it was just like a few moments? Did you enjoy it, or did it feel like hard work? Baba took many test papers of physical labor too. There is a vast difference between being those who were raised as if they were royalty and being those who made a cow dung patties for the fire and who were made mechanics. He also made you sew sleepers. He made you into shoemakers and gardeners too. However, was that labor or a pleasure? You overcame everything, but you always experienced it to be a life of pleasure. Those who became confused ran away, whereas those who remain in pleasure are giving many others the experience of a life of pleasure. Even now, if those 14 years were to be repeated, You would like that, would you not? However, now if someone has to do even a little physical work at a center, they think, is this why I renounced everything? Am I mean to do this work? To live one's life in pleasure is said to be a Brahmin life, whether it is ordinary physical work or whether you have to give a speech on a stage to thousands of people. Do both with pleasure. This is called living a life of pleasure, not to be confused and think, I didn't think that to surrender would mean I would have to do all of this. I came here as a teacher. I didn't renounce everything to do this physical work. Is this all a Brahma Kumari life is? This is called a life of confusion. To become a Brahma Kumari means to live with pleasure in your heart, not with physical pleasures. With the pleasure in your heart, you will be able to transform any situation or task that is causing confusion into a pleasure. Although you have elevated facilities and everything you have is clear, if you yourself are constantly confused, you create confusion in something that is very clear. While having good facilities, you won't be able to take pleasure in those facilities. How will this happen? This will not happen like this, but like this. You will be confused yourself about that, and you will also confuse others. It is said, when a thread is tangled, means confused, it is with a great difficulty that you are able to untangle it. You would be confused about something good and also about something that causes fear because your attitude is confused and your mind is confused. Your attitude automatically then affects your vision, and because of your vision, you see the world as being confused too. A Brahma Kumari life means a life of pleasure, like that of Father Brahma. However, the basis of this is tolerance. So, tolerance is very special. Because of the speciality, Father Brahma always remained unshakable and immovable. You have been told of two papers of tolerance. The first paper was of the bad words and assaults from people. The second was of the different obstacles that came in establishing the yajna. The third was that some Brahmin children became traitors and created opposition because of their discontentment about small or large matters. However, in this too, with the feeling of satisfying those who were discontent and by considering them to be influenced by something else, by having benevolent feelings and the silence power of tolerance, he made each one move forward. He still taught the lesson of tolerance with sweetness, good wishes, and pure feelings to those who came to oppose him. When someone opposed him one day and came the next day to ask him for forgiveness with the words emerging from his lips, Baba is truly Baba. That is said to be making those who fail pass with tolerance and to pass through the obstacles. So, you heard about the second step. For what? So that you can place your steps in his steps. This is known as follow Father or to become equal to the Father. Do you want to become this, or do you just want to observe from a distance? You are courageous, are you not? Punjab, Maharashtra, both are courageous. All are courageous. All you people from this land and abroad call yourself Mahavirs. If any one of you were to be called part of the infantry, would you accept that? This proves that all of you consider yourselves to be Mahavirs. To be a Mahavir means to be equal to the Father. Do you understand? Acha. To all the souls from this land and abroad who are equal to the Father and constantly have surrendered intellects, to those who always remain tolerant in every situation and with everyone, and who make every big situation into something small and easily overcome it, to those who put any expansion into its essence, to those who constantly live their Brahman life as a life of pleasure, to such elevated Mahavir souls who became equal to the Father, BapDada's love-filled love, remembrance, and namaste, together with the blessings, may you become equal. The spiritual children says namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. BapDada meeting groups. To the Kumars. First group. What is the speciality of Kumars? A Kumar life is an elevated life because it is a pure life, and where there is purity, there is greatness. A Kumar means to be powerful, to be someone who is able to do whatever he has the thought to do. A Kumar means to be one who is always free from bondage and makes others free from bondage. You have such specialities, do you not? You can put whatever thought you have into practice. You remain pure yourselves, and you can also tell others the importance of remaining pure. You can become instruments for such service, what people of the world consider to be impossible. You Brahma Kumaris issue this challenge. No one can be as pure as we are. Why? Because it is the Almighty Authority who makes you that. No matter how much people of the world try, they cannot become as pure as you. You have easily become pure. It feels easy, does it not? Or do you also see, like the people of the world, that it is unnatural? Do you feel that the definition of a Kumar is one who issues a challenge? Those who demonstrate this by transforming themselves in a practical way, the ones who make the impossible possible, are the people take their companions into bad company, whereas you bring them into the Father's company. You don't color them with your company. You color them with the Father's company. You make them equal to the Father. You are like that, are you not? Acha. Second group. A Kumar means one who is constantly unshakable and immovable, no matter what type of situations come. You are not those who fluctuate because your companion is the Father himself. One will always be unshakable and immovable. When the Father is there, when the Almighty Authority is there, there will be all the powers. Maya cannot do anything in front of all the powers. Therefore, a Kumar life means to be one with a constant stage, not one who fluctuates. Those who fluctuate are not able to claim the imperishable fortune of the kingdom. You would receive a little happiness, but not for all time. Therefore, a Kumar life means to be constantly unshakable and to have a stable stage. So, is your stage stable, or is your intellect pulled by other tests? You are those who experience all sweetness in the one Father. This is called being constant and stable, means focused on one, that is unshakable and immovable. Only the children who have such a stable stage are loved by the Father. So always remember that you souls are unshakable and immovable, those who stay in a stable stage. To the Mothers. First group. What is the easy path that BapDada had shown you, mothers, through which you can easily experience remembrance of the Father and not have to labor? What is the means to make remembrance easy? Say with your heart, my Baba. When you say mine, you have easy remembrance. Throughout the whole day, you remember whatever is mine, do you not? If someone or something belongs to you, where you feel that it belongs to you, you would remember that. In this way, if you say, my Father, you will then only remember the Father. So, that is an easy way to remember the Father. Say with your heart, my Baba. Do not simply say mine, mine in words, but say it with a right. Make this easy effort and continue to move forward. Always be an easy yogi using this method. Say mine and become a master of the Father's treasures. Second group. Mothers, do you constantly consider yourselves to be multi-million times fortunate? You found the Father while sitting at home, and so it is such a great fortune. People of the world go out looking for God, whereas you found Him while sitting at home. So, did you ever even think that you would receive such great fortune? It is remembered that God was found while they were sitting at home. Who is that a memorial of? It is your memorial, is it not? So, constantly keep this elevated fortune in your awareness and continue to move forward. Wah, my elevated fortune! Continue to sing the songs of happiness. Continue to swing in the swings of happiness. Continue to sing and dance in happiness. Third group. What happiness do the Shaktis always have? I am constantly combined with the Father. Shiv Shakti means to be combined. The Father and I, both together, are referred to as Shiv Shakti. So, those who are combined cannot be separated by anyone. Do you have such happiness? The Father has made weak souls powerful. So always remember that you have claimed a right to remain combined. Previously, you were those who were searching for Him, whereas you have now become those who stay with Him. Always have this intoxication. No matter how much Maya tries, Maya cannot do anything in front of a Shiv Shakti. If you remain separate, Maya will come, so remain combined, and Maya cannot come. Therefore, always remember this blessing. You are the victorious Shiv Shaktis who remain constantly combined. Blessing. May you put your loose connection right and instead of being confused, become free from problems. Explanation. The main reason for all problems is having a loose connection. Simply put a connection right and all the powers will circle around you. If it takes 1 or 2 minutes to make the connection, do not lose courage and become confused. Do not shake the foundation of faith. I am Baba's and Baba is mine. Make your foundation strong on this basis and you will become free from problems. Slogan. To remain stable in the Sid stage is the way to transform old sanskars. Om Shanti